Hello, and welcome to the Daily Dose of Safety with Dr. Charlie Cartwright. So today's message is really about building relationships, and we just finished the election cycle here, the presidential election cycle here in the United States, the House, the Senate. It's pretty much done, and now it's time to move forward in this new direction. And here's the thing: I think in my lifetime, the most contentious 8 years of politics have been the last 8 years. I think you can argue that pretty successfully. And what happens with that is there's so much division amongst individuals really kind of affiliating themselves with one party or the other and one set of ideas versus the other. And unfortunately, that spills over into the workplace. And it can have a direct impact on our ability to lead. And here's why I say that. If you don't have a relationship with a person, you can't lead them. I mean, it's pretty one-on-one, right? Pretty simple, straightforward. When you think about it, if you don't have a relationship with that person, you're not their leader. You're not. They might sit there and look at you. They're not listening, and they're definitely not following. So, as leaders, regardless of our varying beliefs, ideologies, whatever, we have to have the ability to build relationships with other human beings. That's essential. So I spoke last week in Alaska. Anchorage, Alaska is up there. Beautiful country. My second time to Anchorage. And we talked a little bit about this in one of my presentations. And it reminds me of my favorite quote of all time, which is an Abraham Lincoln quote. And if you've been following my content for a while, you'll most likely recognize this quote. But it was after the Civil War, and Abraham Lincoln was giving a speech in the North. And he said, we must embrace our brothers and sisters from the South. And a woman in the audience challenged him on that. She raised her hand and she questioned him. She asked this question. She says, so are you asking us to embrace our enemies? It's a valid point, valid question. But his answer was an all-time great. And here's what he said. If I turn my enemy into my friend, is my enemy not destroyed? You notice, not defeated, not overcome, destroyed. And when there's something that's destroyed, there's no returning. Humpty Dumpty can't put it back together again, right? All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty back together again, right? And so that's destruction. And matter of fact, when an enemy is destroyed, by making them our friend, now they're actually an ally and they have our back. And so we've got to use that same mentality when we're leading people that have different beliefs than us, have different ideas than us. And the question came up, well, how do you make a friend? And I got out the flip chart and we started talking through it. And it was so simple. It was almost comical when we're coming up with the different ways that you make a friend. Well, how do you make a friend? Well, you take initiatives, you say hi, you greet them, you smile at them, you ask questions that show you're genuinely interested in who they are and what their responses will be. And then you build on those responses. You find common ground, you find connection. You put in an effort. And before long, they notice you're putting in an effort. They notice you have common ground, common connections, and next thing you know, they're putting in effort. And a friendship is born. A relationship is born. Works the same way within leadership. So think about that as you go through your work week, and think about ways to lead by building relationships. And that is my message for today. So I hope this message finds you well. Hope you have a safe and successful week. And until next time, take care.